Hey, welcome to practice. My name's Alyssa. I use they, them pronouns. I'm here with my dog Albert, who sometimes comes in and out of shot. Um, this is going to be a little recording of a yoga video, some physical asana, a little bit of pranayama. In general, I recommend that you think of yoga as a long form process. In other words, that means you'll do the work that's right for you. And you can have reasonable confidence that you understand what's going on in your body as you continue to develop your ability to pay attention to how you feel. That could get more specific. You might also have things you just know, like my knee doesn't bend like that. Otherwise, it starts to feel not so good afterwards. So know that it's not prescriptive. So the idea isn't that every movement is for everyone, but that everyone can come towards the process of everything that we're doing in their own way. So empower yourself to be your own teacher in that context. Since we're not in time and space together, I welcome you to that. And always feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. Remember that your inherent wisdom is very strong. And speaking of that, I've been sort of talking in the last week or two about intuitive actions. And I had a teacher who explained intuition as sort of the intellect or the wisdom of your instincts. So our instincts happen, right? We hear a sound and we think fight or flight, something like that. That's just an example. But our intuition is not the instinct itself, but instead what we do with that information. And so yoga is an opportunity to practice by creating a process of moving through space, by creating intended obstacles, things we're trying to keep with us. We give ourselves a little bit of ability to be intentional. And that means we get to decide. And wisdom often comes with that sort of perspective and the ability to take action from perspective. So I'll just offer that intuition is here for you. A lot of that is about listening. This practice is a listening practice. So I encourage you to keep that in mind. Remember, it doesn't have to be super metaphysical necessarily from a heightened standpoint. If you tend to lean into magical practices, some of that might sound reasonable to you, might make a lot of pragmatic sense. Sometimes it doesn't. So know that for you, if it's just about feeling, breathing, about healing your body through moving it, you don't have to necessarily have any other aspect other than a pure intention and a little bit of honoring of what yoga is, the context from which it comes. All right, so having said that, let's go to the mat or go to the space of practice. We're going to start in a seat. So you could sit up on a prop. You could sit with your legs crossed in front, your hips on your heels. You always sit on the edge of a chair or a couch. You could close your eyes or let them fall downwards to a spot on the earth in front of you. Roll your shoulders down. I'll offer that we begin with resonant action, 3 rounds of the seed sound of Om. I offer Om as a secular chant. We acknowledge the interconnectedness of all the things that there are by making the sound of the universe. If it isn't for you to chant, you might consider that idea of non-dualistic internetworking, right? How everything is everything, as it were. You'd always just sit with us in silence instead. Many good reasons to choose not to make sound. Otherwise, breathe with us. To prepare for Om, we'll clear the channel of the body. Take an inhale in through your nose. And open your mouth to exhale each A. Inhale, prepare to chant. Take a long inhale in through your nose and a slow exhale out. Again, inhale in through your nose, Ujjayi Pranayama. Fill your back and side ribs and exhale out through your nose slowly, Ujjayi Pranayama. And keep breathing in this way, long, slow, smooth, and deep. Listen for the sound of your breath. And feel for the volume shift of your breath, the sensations associated. And if your eyes are closed, in your next Ujjayi inhale, flutter your eyes open. Your next exhale, make way to a hands and knees position. So you're always welcome to come to tabletop. You're welcome to do this in a seat or to pad your knees, right? If you're sitting down, you might put your hands on your knees, thighs for structure. Change it, but look for the spinal task at hand. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your belly ribs, lift your chin and tail up. And exhale to cat. Tuck your chin around your spine. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat. Now, as you inhale to cow pose, you might add curling your toes under with some stretching into the arches of the feet today. As you exhale to cat, flatten the feet and press them down. Follow your breath, inhaling and exhaling. And think about as you do where you originate movement from. Is it from the middle of your spine, behind your waist, maybe? Perhaps you begin with the back of your neck or with your chin. Maybe for you, you can make it happen from your tail or the ground beneath your feet. Inhale to cow pose. Keep your toes curled under. Exhale, lift your knees, press into your hands. I'm pushing back a little bit so my wrists don't have to take too much pressure. Then put your knees right back down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale towards cat, lift your knees. Round your spine a little bit. Good. Inhale. Put your knees down, lift your chin and tail, cow pose. Exhale, push back with your hands. Lift your knees in towards your chest a bit. All right, inhale, cow pose. Put your knees down, lift your chin and tail. Exhale, cat, flatten the tops of your feet, round your spine. Good, inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Press the tops of your feet down, keep your spine rounded. Inhale, maybe your knees will lift. Exhale, your knees down. Inhale, cow pose. You can curl your toes if you like. Exhale, cat, flatten your feet, round your spine. Press back as you inhale. Press into the tops of your feet. Maybe your knees will lift. Exhale, knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Last time like this. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Lift your knees. Breathe into the background of your body. And exhale, your knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale to a neutral spine. And gently, slowly, take your right hand and flip it so your fingers face you and your palm faces up. Now, if when you do this it feels unstable, stick with just one hand at a time. If you feel like you can do it with both, put some weight back into your knees, flip your left hand. We'll do a few cow cats here. I'll tell you when to switch if you're doing one side and then the other. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep breathing, and generally, if you feel a lot of pressure in your wrists, shift your weight more back towards your feet, towards your knees, and play around with turning your fingers more in or out, away from the center line. That might change the stretch in your wrists. If you've been doing it on one side, time to switch to the other. And if you've noticed or patterned moving your hands around on one side, you might repeat it on the other. Remember that symmetry is just a tool we use and is not necessarily organic to our bodies. There's some symmetry there. and some asymmetry. Generally, we're trying to seek balance in a system that is not binary. And slowly we'll return to two hands on the earth just for a moment. I would start with my hips back behind my knees and then slowly come forward to feel that compression in your wrists after that stretch. Plant down through your right hand and inhale, take your left arm out and then up, twist to the left. Exhale, twist to the right, go underneath and behind your right wrist, come down to your shoulder, ear, or jaw. Do this a lot because I find compression in the shoulders to be healing. You might let yourself kind of drop down onto your arm, change the angle. You're welcome to use your right hand for support or to take it up or behind your back or to any other place. Try not to tense your neck or your jaw. You can avoid it. If you moved it, return your right hand to the earth and inhale your left arm out and then up. And exhale your left hand to the ground. Inhale your right arm out and then up. Twisting to the right, and then exhale, twist left, go underneath and behind your left wrist, come down to your shoulder, ear, or jaw, and breathe. Good. Again, choosing your adventure, but noticing where the support is. Often these principles of the ground, of the structure, the sthira, versus the movement or the sweetness or the mobility, the sukha. These are just ways of considering. To be relaxed, we need enough stability and support. And sometimes for things that are very tight to be relaxed, we need a lot of stability and support. We go to the point we cultivate new tension, yet are we seeking ease? Really? If you moved it, put your left hand down and inhale your right arm back out and up. And exhale, two hands to the earth. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, down dog, lift your knees and hips. Walk out your dog, inhaling to lift the heel of your right foot. And exhaling to switch to plug your right heel down and lift the heel of your left foot. Take an inhale there, like the boogie woogie, and exhale to switch. It's okay if your heels never get to the ground. Inhale to the balls of your feet and exhale. To change, inhale to the balls of your feet and exhale. The left heel down, inhale to the balls of your feet. Exhale, bend both knees, lift both heels high. Take an inhale. Extend through your shoulders and exhale. And drive your heels down. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward, and on your exhale, tiptoe, try to keep your heels up to the top of your mat or space. Whenever you have to lift your hands, lift them, maybe to fingertips and then off the ground. Whenever you arrive, hang in forward fold. You might grab for opposite elbow with opposite hand. Just take a deep inhale into your back. Relax your neck as you open mouth. Exhale, Ujjayi. Ujjayi, inhale in through your nose. Ujjayi, exhale out through your nose. Release your arms down to hang out of any chosen grip and slowly, breath by breath, round your spine, drag your head, roll up towards standing, towards Samasthiti, same on all sides position. When you arrive, you might take a few exhales to roll your shoulders down your back, and to find your plumb line over your feet. I'm standing with my heels under my hip sockets or anatomical hips distance. You could stand with your feet wider. Sometimes turned out a little is more ergonomic. Sometimes feet together is the thing for you. Good. Inhale, take your arms out in Upward Hastasana. You could take your hands to shoulder distance or maybe press the palms. Maybe the hands are a bit in front. Exhale, take your hands out and down. Start to bend your knees like Utkatasana, the fierce pose. And as you do, turn your hands so your thumbs point down and your palms will face towards each other as they come towards each other behind your back. Good. Inhale. Straighten your knees, stand up, reach upward, Hastasana. Exhale, Utkatasana. Turn at your shoulder joint as you press your hands back. Inhale. Stand up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale. Utkatasana. You might bend your elbows to interweave your fingers this time. Stick your tail out and stay in Utkatasana. You can also press your hands towards one another or grab for a sock or a towel or a strap. Good. Release your hands, straighten your knees. Inhale, arms up, reaching up. Exhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees. Perhaps you meet your hands. Inhale to pull your heart forward, stay low in your hips. Now we're going to do a lot like we did in Down Dog. On the exhale, pour the weight into your left heel, and inhale, pick your right heel up. Keep your both knees bent and exhale, switch. Plug your right heel down. Inhale, lift your left heel up. Exhale to push your left heel down as you inhale your right heel up. Now my head moves. And 2 heels down as the exhale. Inhale your left heel up. Exhale, 2 heels down. Now let's try to switch. Inhale the right heel up. Exhale the left heel up, the right heel down. Just a few more like this. Inhale the left heel down, the right heel up. Exhale the right heel down. Inhale the left heel up. Exhale both heels down. Inhale, release your arms, stand up, reach your arms up, straighten your knees. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And let's step the left foot back so your right foot is forward. I'm going to drop my back knee down. And I'm going to make a few block-related suggestions. If you have blocks, cushions, anything really like it, sturdy books, etc., you can try these sorts of things with them. You want to be careful, obviously, of your own stability, but it's okay to kind of play around with things. So one thing that can be helpful is that you can take the block to your back leg and sort of stick one of the corners down. Front corner of my block is up here on that short end. And I've put the block short end into my thigh. Now I happen to have like a lot of space here, curved lower back, and so sometimes I'll tilt the block more down, or even to get more stability, I'll put it lower and set it on the lower setting. So you can try those things out and see what they're like. You do that, use your left glute to press your left thigh forward into the block shape. You can play around with where it fits, as it were. That way one size can fit all. You might reach your left arm up and back, backward bending, or up and over to the right, side bending. Now another thing we can do here with the block, especially if you have a pretty low lunge, is you can sit on the block at a high setting. Sometimes 2 blocks stacked at a lower setting is more stable. You might be able to see in the sunshine, block is coming right below my hip, and I'm sitting my glute down onto it. And if you have a stool, you can do this with that. you find that this is really super low, I encourage you to grab a chair and see if you can just put one hip butt cheek on the chair and then step the other foot back into a lunge. The same thing will happen, right? Respect the range of motion in your body as it is. If you're doing this, you might find that as you sit down or press down into your right hip, that you can reach up and back through your left arm. Let's take another couple breaths. And on your exhale, we'll release 2 hands down. All right, so we're going to do one more thing with the block. Curl your back toes under and lift your back knee up. All right, with the block, you can put the block underneath your front foot. It creates a higher lunge, a different angle. But what I really like to do is take the block and hang my arch of foot over the front of it. So I got the block widthwise, and I have my heel on the block, the ball of my foot down on the floor in front of the block, like I'm wearing a high heel. Now, sometimes you just got to come to standing, right? And put your heel on the block and hang your foot over the front end to get it over there. But if we're in this long, low lunge shape, high on the ball of your foot, you might be able to rock your weight forward and back by coming high on the ball of your back foot. Inhale, gaze forward, pull your heart forward, and exhale to shift back, straightening your front leg. Plug straight back through your left heel to stretch through your calf and Achilles. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale, shift back. Right now it might be wobbly, strange. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale to shift back. And that's okay. You can always skip the block. There's just ideas to kind of play around with the ground beneath you, that intuition of our rooting and earthing, our connection to things. Now, if your heel's on the block, drop your back knee to the earth if it's available. Rise up onto your hands up onto your right knee thigh in this lifted place. Nice. From here, you might put your right hand down, your left hand down on the earth inside your foot. Keeping your left hand down, right? I got a block underneath my left hand. Spin to the right and twist. Inhale. You might take your right arm up. A lot into the hip today. Now remember, it doesn't have to be a huge range of motion to be effective. On your next exhale, untwist. Shift your weight back into your back knee enough. Right, almost coming to the half split. Maybe you're going to keep your right heel up on this block as you fold forward over your leg. Maybe having it up there is creating too harsh an angle. You'll move the block out from underneath your foot. You can always slide forward. I haven't done a huge amount of yoga yet to be doing the splits, so be kind to your hamstring. Drive your right heel down, drive your right hip back. Good. When you're ready to bend into your right knee and point your foot, curl your right toes under. We're going to inhale to one-footed dog. So take your right leg up and back behind you. Stretch it straight back like someone's pulling on your ankle. And exhale to open your hip and bend your knee. You can always lift your left heel and bend your left knee. Try to hang your head or look up underneath your right armpit. Inhale, straighten and reach your right leg high and long. And exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale to your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees. This time, inhale out into a plank. Shoulders over wrists. Exhale, knees to the earth. Plank on the knees position. You can keep your toes curled. Draw your belly in, tuck your tail, take another inhale. And exhale, bend your elbows in and back. Lower your chest onto or towards the earth. Same thing with your chin. Pressing back with the palms of your hands. Inhale, pull forward and up, cobra pose, tops of your feet down. Bhujangasana, exhale, bring your chin or forehead down. Again, inhale, cobra. Exhale to bring your upper body down. One more time, follow your breath. Try to get as long in your spine. Always look down the line of your nose with your chin tucked if you wish. Curl your toes under, press your knees down. Inhale back through plank on the knees by lifting up. Exhale towards child's pose. You might stay there or lift your hips up on the inhale and return to downward facing dog pose. Inhale to your tippy toes. Exhale by exhale, walk forward on your tippy toes. And let your heels come down. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Feel free to bend your knees. Stick out your tail. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse dive to standard Bahastasana. Exhale, Utkatasana. Take your hands behind you. Perhaps interweave your fingers. Inhale your knuckles down and your heart up. Exhale, pour the weight into your toes and start to lift your heels. Now think about what it means to bring your heel forward over the ball of your foot, breath by breath. Maybe to lift your thighs up towards your face. You might at some point have to sit your hips more down if you want to keep sticking your tail out, drawing your navel back and lifting your body upright. And if you lose balance, and always come out and come back in. The process is the thing. Slowly exhale your heels down. Inhale, Utkatasana. Take your arms up, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Once you forward folded, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and step your right foot back. Drop your right knee down. We'll experiment with block use again. And I do encourage you, a box wrapped in duct tape will do it. Like you don't have to buy a block. A piece of cloth, a well shaped can of soup, really sturdy, large style vinegar bottle. These things will all stand in for this type of prop. Just be kind to yourself and let it be experimental. You might inhale your right arm up here and exhale by exhale, side body bend over to the left. And it's like we have some support with the props. Maybe you're lucky and you have those nice cork or wooden blocks that are heavy and they feel stable. Sometimes even when it's in a pretty good position, you're still dealing with styrofoam running against a plastic mat or a rubber mat. And take yourself into account, changing nature even of our stability. Good. And again, if you tried all the things on the other side, you might switch to putting the block underneath your butt cheek. Now, sometimes we need two blocks, right? And I'm going to put one at that horizontal setting and one at the tall setting, and that I've made myself a much taller stool, right? And sometimes it just means I need a shorter stance as of where my body is, right? Or a chair. Give yourself that space to figure it out. You can always pause the video, right? And take a few minutes. Remember, you can do it all without the prop and just do a lunge. You get a lot benefit from that work as well. You're doing this, you might be going up and back. All right, and our last little bit of work. Exhaling your two hands down. If you'd like, into the lunge, or taking your block underneath your foot. And I gotta kind of walk my block behind my foot. Put the heel of my foot up on the end of the block and let my ball of foot hang over the front. Now even then, right, my block tilts up a little bit. I'm sure there's pairs of heels I've worn that were less stable. Right, and you're welcome to stay low, but I like to lift the back heel to start, tent to the fingers, or again, you could come up onto a prop. Inhale to pull your heart forward, shift forward, come high on the ball of your right heel, and exhale to shift back, press through your right heel. Inhale forward. A lot of compression in the right hip. Exhale as in the left. Pinching is a little normal. And if you do feel though that way, you could bring your hands up higher. If you were really feeling balancy, you could also do it from way up high, especially if you're near a wall. Give yourself that permission. And I'm going to bring my back heel down to twist. Bring your right hand down inside your left foot and inhale to twist to the left. Now, some of this stuff is uncomfortable on purpose, not really to be arbitrarily uncomfortable, but because often working in these new ways and destabilizing ourselves just feels uncomfortable. And so know that you don't have to tolerate it to the nth degree or of what's offered. You could always take it down a notch. You do all this on a book that is much lower but stable on your mat and still be working the actions in a successful way. Good. Take another inhale. And exhale to release. Shift your weight back towards your right foot and straighten out your left leg, half split. You might find yourself right on top of that block. You might move it off to the side. You might fold forward. I like to be very active, kick down the heel, drive my thigh bone back. I even bend my knee a little bit to do it so that I make sure that it's not in the tendon at the back of the knee or up at the insertion into your pelvis, that the hamstring belly of muscle takes the stretch. Good. Next exhale or two, take your left foot off the blocks, bend into your left knee. Good, and curl your back toes under, lift your back knee up, plant your hands. Let's inhale to one-footed dog, take your left leg up and back, straight back behind you. Exhale, open your left hip on top of your right and bend your knee. And hang your head as you breathe. Roll your ankle around, spread your toes. Inhale, straighten your leg up and back, extend it. And exhale to downward facing dog pose. Inhale to your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, push with your feet to spring your body forward into upward push-up plank position. Exhale, slow, lower all the way to the mat. Try to aim your heart to hit right before your hips. Tops of your feet down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale to bring your upper body down and curl your toes. Inhale through plank on the knees or plank. Inhale to push up. Exhale, downward dog. You might go through child's pose. Stay there or on the way. Inhale in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Ujjayi in through your nose. Ujjayi out through your nose. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, tiptoe to the top of your mat. Good. Grab a book or a block. 2 blocks if you feel like it would be better and you'd have more space. Stand your heels on the end of the block. Let your heels turn in and your toes turn out. Walk your feet as far forward as you need to for your arches to be relatively comfortable. Good. Bend your knees. I'm going to use another block in front of me as a little extra lift. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart. Exhale, bend your knees. Sink your hips. The moment your heels come up off the block, pause there. Take an inhale, pull your heart forward and up. And exhale, fold, lift your hips, use your hands. One more time, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees. Let your knees turn out as your hips sink down, just as far as is reasonable for you. Once you get there, take an inhale, pull your heart forward like you're howling at the moon. And exhale to fold over your legs. Good. Step your heels off your block. Slide it off to one side. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale, Utkatasana. Arms out, forward, or up. Exhale, pour the weight into your left foot. slide your hands back. Inhale, lift your right heel up off the ground. And exhale, slowly, just slide the ball of your foot along the ground as you shift it back. I had to get a turn from side to scooch. High on the ball of your right foot, exhale to bend your left knee and sink your hips low. Now we're going to do a little turning around, moving through our feet to coordinate from lunging one side to the other. So just go slow, think through it step by step, take extra breaths as you need to, and fall down a little if you need to. Right, take an inhale to reach up. Exhale, spin your right heel down, that's your back heel, as you start to straighten your left leg. Inhale. Turn around into warrior two towards your right leg, exhaling. And then spin the ball of your back left heel up. Inhale. Take your arms up, turn to face the front. And exhale, lean forward and press your hands back. Now, if you're in a really long lunge, you might have to scooch a little. We're going to inhale to slowly try to slide forward. But this time, instead of with the ball of your foot down, bring the top of your back foot down as you slide all the way forward. We're going to go all the way to standing in Samasthiti on this side. Inhale, take your arms up, reaching up. Exhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, sink your hips. Take your arms back. Good, inhale, take your arms forward, out and up. Stand up. Exhale to Samasthiti. Good. We'll do it here on the other side. The dog that's crying, so I'm going to kind of deal with him. We'll do it on the other side. All right. Take an inhale, take your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, sink your hips. Take your arms back. Interweave your fingers if you like. Inhale, pour the weight into your right heel. And lift the ball of your left heel up off the ground. The ball of your left foot stays down, lift the heel up. Take an exhale here. And slowly, with your right foot on the ground, start to press through. You'll use your left hamstring. The ball of your left foot, slide it back all the way into a long, tall, lunging shape. Good. Good. Inhale, take your arms out, forward and up. Crescent lunge, high on the ball of your back foot. Exhale to warrior two, so spin your back heel down. Inhale, straighten through your right leg as you turn your right foot in. Turn your left toes out and exhale into warrior two to the left. Spin the ball of your right heel down and your right heel up, and inhale into crescent lunge, high lunge. And exhale your hands back by your sides. You might interweave your fingers if that's of interest to you. You did it on this side. Exhale, tilt your body forward, bring weight into your left heel. Bring the top of your right foot down, and inhale to slide forward and all the way up. Take as many breaths as you need to. Exhale, release your arms, standing in Samasthiti. All right. Inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, unroll your heart to set. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, plant your hands, step or float back, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale to upward dog, pull your heart through. You're welcome to an alternative. Exhale to downward facing dog pose. Take a big free inhale in through your nose. Open mouth exhale. Ujjayi in through your nose. Ujjayi out through your nose. Good. Inhale to take your right foot up and back, 1-footed dog. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, your chin towards your chest. Lift high the heel of your left back foot as you pull forward. Exhale to lower your right knee to the earth. Take an inhale. Exhale, pull your right knee back into your chest. Inhale, 1-footed dog. Take your right leg up and back. Exhale your right knee towards your nose, shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, knee to the earth, and pull your heart forward if you like cow pose. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, 1-footed dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, knee to earth, pull your heart forward, squeeze your right heel towards your glute. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, 1-footed dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, knee to earth, pull your heart forward. This time, exhale, put your right foot down on the ground. And you might even take your right leg out to the right a little. We're going to walk the left foot back, come into kind of a funny form of pigeon pose. Now, again, you might put blocks underneath your hips and be quite lifted up in this shape. As you can see, my right foot is outside of my right hip, kind of a strange pigeon that we're doing. Won't be here for a super long period of time. Again, a prop nearby can sometimes help you get unkiltered if you feel like you're kiltering down. You're welcome to bend your back knee, squeeze your toes towards your tail if you're one of those folks. If you're going to turn or anything like that, just try to turn from your waist so your lower body stays stable. You don't upset your stability to reach. Good. Let's release the back foot. If you scooched your left foot back, you might press into your hands and bend your left knee and pull it forward. And both hands kind of inside your back knee. Curl your left toes under. Take an inhale. Lift your left knee up off the mat. Exhale, pull your right knee into your nose. Inhale, 1-footed dog. Exhale, step your right foot forward inside your hands. All right, we're going to do a little bit of that turning, right? Except for we're going to do it lower to the ground. So I'm just going to turn around so you can see me. Right foot is forward. Inhale, pull your heart forward like you're doing a low lunge. Drop your hips, lift your chest. And on your exhale, walk your hands inside your right foot. I'm going to pivot to that wide-footed fold shape. Turn the toes to the long side of the mat. And then turn your left toes out as you exhale to walk all the way over and squat down. Now you might notice I've turned my right toes up. So instead of keeping my leg like it was in a warrior posture, I turn. And you might not have your left heel down. Some of us lift quite high. Take an inhale here. And on your exhale, walk your hands back over towards your right foot. Spin to face the front position that your toes are pointed to. Inhale, cow pose. Drop your hips, lift your chest. Exhale, walk yourself over, Skandasana. Spin your right heel up. Now, if you like, you can also take your arms out in these shapes. So make sure your hips and knees appreciate that. Take an inhale. Exhale to transition back over towards your right foot. This time, you can add a twist. Left hand down, inhale, right arm up. And exhale, right hand down. Walk over to your left foot. Take an inhale here. And exhale, go back to your right foot. Last time like this. Inhale your right arm up if you're twisting. And exhale, all the way over to your left foot. Right heel up. Now again, The blocks can be your friends. Sit up on one or two or three, especially if it relieves pain in your knee, gives you some stability. We're going to side body bend here. Maybe you're on a prop, maybe not. Take your right hand towards the front of your left heel and inhale your left arm straight up. Exhale by exhale, side bend to the right. Do your best to rotate your right thigh out and do your best to rotate your heart up. Oh, instead of trying to get to your right foot with your left hand, try to get to the ceiling with your left ribs. And your next exhale, start to root down through your hips and inhale to pull your torso back centric. And exhale. Begin to walk yourself back over towards your right foot. Inhale, take your right arm up, twist to the right. Take an exhale to put the weight in your right foot and inhale to stand up, revolving the lifted crescent lunge with your right arm back, your left arm forward, settle into your right heel. Inhale up through crescent lunge and exhale open to warrior two. Straighten your right leg, turn your right toes in, turn both heels in and toes out, and goddess, sink your hips, bend your knees. Spread and press through your toes and inhale to lift your heels if you wish off the ground. Exhale your heels down. Inhale, straighten your legs, turn your toes in, and exhale, fold forward over your both legs. Good, inhale like a halfway lift. And exhale, begin to bend both knees. Walk your hands over towards your left foot. Spin your right heel up. Now we did that dragging of the foot from a standing up position. Again, I suggest stepping your back foot in a little bit so you can put weight into your front foot. You might bring the top of your right foot down and slowly as you stand up, inhale, take your arms back and pull your right foot forward, gently dragging the ball of the foot on the ground. And when you get there, you might exhale and just find a place where you're still pressing the top of your foot into the ground as you're standing up over your left heel. Bend your right knee further. Grab a hold of the inside edge of your foot, your palm facing forward. Good. Take an inhale, stretch your left arm up, and exhale to kick back your right foot down your asana, reach forward. You might tilt at your hip to bring your body down. Let your upper back twist to bring your left shoulder forward and your right shoulder back. And slowly coming back up. As you release your foot, see if you can put it right back down. Top of the foot taps the ground. And then slowly plant your right foot down on the ground. And we're going to try doing balance on one foot on the ball of the foot. So right away you might know you want to come to a wall or a chair because that's just how your foot is, your life is. Maybe you've had balance issues all day. Normal for it to change day to day, just biochemically. We're going to stand on your right foot and lift the ball of the foot up. I like to lift both heels up and start there, so I'm not changing too much of my pelvis. So if I turn to face you, right, I'm up on the balls of my feet. You can also do this by using your block underneath the foot. And then the foot you're standing on, that's the right foot, you're already a little bit balanced. You could also use it for your other foot so that when you do lift your opposite foot, you can experiment with it, but I like to try it with the foot I'm standing on. So we'll do this for a couple of minutes. So if you're trying on the block, you can always try without it. You'll bend your left knee and bring your thigh up parallel to the earth. Now from here, you might plug down through your right heel if you're on the block. I like to press down through my left hip as well. And even as I bring the left knee up, you can take your leg out. You're welcome to take your arms out long with your palms up. All right, and of course, right, once we take the prop out from underneath the foot, right, this might be much more of a standing on the ball of your foot and trying to lift your left thigh up parallel to the earth. Maybe it won't get there. Good. You can always step forward as you need to. All right. If you're up there and things are interesting, certainly stay. Otherwise, in the next few minutes, come down and roll your right foot out. You have a whole other side to do before you do that nonsense on the left side. Just give yourself a little space to remember. Okie dokie. Inhale, take your arms up, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice. Step or float back, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale to up dog or the cobra pose. And we'll meet each other in downward facing dog pose. Take a big deep inhale in through your nose. And open your mouth to exhale. Ujjayi in through your nose. Ujjayi out through your nose. Inhale to take your left leg up and back. Exhale, open your hip, bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and extend through your left leg. Exhale, bring your left knee in towards your chest or nose. Bring your shoulders forward over the line of your wrists. Press with your right foot. Bring high on the ball of your foot. Inhale, lower your knee down. Left knee to the earth. Pull your heart forward, gaze forward. Exhale your knee to your nose. Inhale, one-footed dog. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, knee to earth, pull your heart forward. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, one-footed dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, knee to earth. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, one-footed dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, knee to earth. And exhale, put your left foot down. You can walk your right leg back. I like to walk my left foot out to the left heel outside of the hip. We're doing kind of a funky form of pigeon pose. The Kapatasana. And so you might puff out your chest or stretching through the back hip a lot. So you might, again, use a block underneath. Right? Notice how just because it's there doesn't mean it isn't dynamic. You just changed the earth structure for yourself. And perhaps you use a prop also just to kind of prop yourself up so you're up and over the thing if it feels pretty good. If you did it on the last side, you might bend your back knee and squeeze your toes to your tail. Good. And slowly we exhale to release, curling the back toes under and scooching the right knee in. And scoot your left knee back to center if you need to. Curl your toes under and inhale to lift your right knee off the ground. Press your hands into the earth and exhale your left knee to your nose. Inhale, one-footed dog, reach, extend. Exhale. Low lunge, step forward between your hands. All right, and doing all this shifting again, take it slow and remember it's okay to take your time. Stay up above where things feel super clicky or tricky. Inhale, you might dip your back knee, pull your heart forward and up. And on your exhale, we're going to walk our hands inside the left foot all the way over to your right foot. Turn your right toes out and squat down into the Skandasana. All right. Now take an inhale in this shape and exhale slowly. Walk your way back over. Spin to the ball of your right foot. Inhale, pull your heart forward, sink your hips down like cow lunge. And exhale, walk it over to your right foot, Skandasana. You might, again, inhale here and exhale to walk it over. This time, if you'd like, you could add the twist, right hand down. Inhale your left arm up and exhale to walk it over to the Skandasana action. Inhale and exhale to walk over to your left foot. Spin your right heel up. Lift your right hip up even as you twist to the left. Inhaling and exhale. And bring it all the way over into Skandasana. And again, if you want to put a block underneath your right hip, underneath your left hip, feel free. Support yourself. It doesn't have to be super deep in the hip to be effective. Your side body bending, take your left hand to the front of your right shin and inhale your right arm straight up. And exhale by exhale, we'll side bend over the left leg. Think more about the curve of your spine. Heavy in your right hip, even if it's up off the ground. Heavy in your right heel as you breathe. Good. Use an inhale to slowly pull yourself back up to center. And take an exhale there. Inhale in your shape and exhale to come all the way back around. High on the ball of your right foot. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale your weight into your left heel. And inhale to stand up into the revolved crescent lunge with your left arm back, your right arm forward, a back bend and a twist. Very heavy in your left heel, high on the ball of your right foot. Inhale to take both arms forward and up, crescent lunging. And exhale, warrior two. You'd open up into the sideways position. Okay. Right, all of this sort of straightening out, lunging through our bodies, right, gives us an alternative perspective sometimes. Good. Inhale to straighten into that front heel, and exhale to turn. Bring your heels in, your toes out, bend your both knees. Sink your hips down. Now, you might try lifting one ball of foot at a time. Lifting both tends to be quite unsettling for us. You'd also go back to lifting your heels and just spreading your toes out. I'm kind of doing it with my fingers and wiggling them, creating that space in the feet and the calves. Inhale to straighten your legs, turn your toes in, and exhale to fold forward over your both legs, wide-footed folding. This time you might reach for your outer feet or take peace sign fingers around your toes, inhaling to unroll, and exhaling to fold and breathe. Bend your elbows straight away. Pull yourself in and down. Inhale to unroll your heart, and exhale, walk it all the way over to your right foot. Spin on your heel. Lift to the ball of your left foot, your left heel up. Good. Take an inhale. And exhale, shift the weight forward into your right heel. You might lift your torso up, inhaling to take your arms behind you. And on your exhale, shift to the ball, from the ball to the top of your left foot. And slowly as you can, From the ground, pull yourself all the way forward and up. And exhale. You can land on your heel. Maybe you remember from the last time, as I didn't. Keep the ball of your foot facing up, top of your foot down, and see if you can pause. Plug down through your left heel, up through the roof of your mouth. You might feel that oppositional length. And with your palm facing out, your thumb pointing back, bend your left knee and grab your foot. Down your asana, the standing bow pulling. Inhale to take your right arm up, and on your exhale, kick. As you kick not only back, but also up. Right, eventually, when you can no longer extend your leg in that direction, you'll have to tilt forward and down. Let your shoulders twist. You might roll your left hip down eventually to keep balance. Good, inhale. Kick into your left hand to pull yourself up and out. And you might slowly again return the ball of your foot down. All right, and then we're going to try going to the other direction so you can pull through and put your heel down. Maybe one day we'll all do this transition in such a way that we find ourselves up on the ball of the left foot naturally, but you might come to stand on the block again. My heel is up on the block. And then rise to the balls of both feet. Bend your right knee and lift your right thigh up. You could have your hands on your hips, your hands on a wall, your arms out with your palms up. A lot of balance work. We don't often do quite so much balance work like this. And again, if you're trying it without, and also come to the position right, with your heel down, and then try lifting your left heel up and seeing what happens to your balance. You know, the worst thing that happens is we step forward and down. We try again. Let balance be that. Always a test to try when you're sort of balanced out as far as that's concerned. It's an exhale to land on your both feet. Good. Inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. And we'll twist to the right, bend your both knees. Left hand down, right arm up. You're welcome to put your hand up on a prop or up on your knee, maybe your elbow on your left knee. You'd wrap your arms around to bind like I am, half bind, your top arm only, your bottom arm only. You might straighten your right leg or both legs to some degree. And exhale to release, to hang and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend both knees, right hand down, twist to the left. Inhale, left arm up. And you might wrap around again. It can be the same from side to side, but it doesn't have to be. Ujjayi Pranayama. And as you do, notice your neck. See if you can let the intelligence of your feet on the ground and your pelvis above them in for balance so that your head can just hang off of your hips with the rest of your spine. Next, exhale to release your arms. Hang and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Shift some weight forward into your hands. Inhale, come high on the balls of your both feet. Exhale, heels down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Keep the halfway lift shape. Exhale, weight in your hands. Inhale, lift your heels a little, a lot. Bend your knees as much as you need to accomplish it. Exhale, heels down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or float your feet back. Chaturanga, Skandasana of your choice. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. We'll move just a little bit more through space before finding stretching, a little bit of yin action on the earth. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, twist to the right, take your right arm up. Exhale to your left foot. Skandasana. Take an inhale. Exhale to your right foot. Spin your left heel up. Inhale to twist. Exhale. Inhale to stand up. Exhale, warrior two. Open it up. Inhale, straighten your legs, pivot your feet. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, straighten your legs, pivot your feet. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge to the left. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale, drag your foot forward and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold Utkatasana, bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, take your arms back. Inhale, stand up on your right foot. Take your left thigh with you. Take an exhale there to take your arms out. Flip your palms up from the sides. Inhale, slow. Lift up onto the ball of your right foot. And exhale. 2 feet down, 2 arms down, Samastitihi. Inhale your arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, left leg up, one-footed dog. Exhale, open your hip and bend your knee. Inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, low lunge, step your left foot forward. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale to your right foot, Skandasana. Take an inhale here. Exhale to your left foot. Inhale, twist to the left, left arm up. Exhale, land in your left heel. Inhale, stand up, reverse, revolved, crescent lunge. Exhale to warrior two. Spin it all the way around. Inhale, straighten your left leg, arrange your feet. Exhale, goddess pose. Inhale, straighten, rearrange your feet, and exhale, wide-footed fold. Inhale, halfway lift business. Exhale, low lunge to your right foot. Spin it all the way around. Inhale, pull your heart forward. Exhale, drag your left heel up and fold at the top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold Utkatasana, bend your knees, sink your hips. Good, inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhale, take your hands around behind you. Good, weight in your right foot. Inhale, stand up. We do the side weight in your left foot. Inhale, stand up, take your right thigh with you. I'm just going to turn to face. Exhale, flip your palms up. Inhale, try to lift up your left heel, stand on the ball of your foot. Whichever side we didn't do before, you might be sure. And exhale, 2 feet down, 2 arms down by your sides. Inhale, take your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Step or float back to lower. Inhale, upward dog pose. Exhale, downward dog pose. And slowly lower your knees to the mat. Curl your toes under. Sit your hips back on your heels. Now, right away, it might be too much to sit this way. Right, you can separate your feet and put a higher block in between. Sometimes that decreases the amount of pressure. Stack up a couple blocks. Sometimes coming forward towards your hands or towards a prop in front of you is the way to relieve some of the pressure. Won't be here for super long, but know that if it gets pretty dicey pretty quick, you are human, and that would be pretty regular. That doesn't mean you have to suffer through it and come in and come out. Just keep that focus of kindness where you can. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Ujjayi form means upwardly successful. Barometric volume of the body allows us to go out and up on our inhales, to gather down and in on our exhales. Take 3 more rounds of breath where you are. And then slowly come forward, bring the tops of your feet down. Now you have choices here. You might come forward into child's pose. You might find that staying upright is just fine. You can also separate your feet and sit on a prop. In a few moments, I'll suggest that if sitting here is generally okay with your knees and your ankles, that you might separate your feet and sit your hips on the earth between them. Even lean back if that feels good on your quads. You might stay upright for just a moment. You really don't feel anything here, which is very unusual, but if it's true for you, you can lean back and lift your knees up and put your knees up on a block, and your ankles will get more stretched that way. Remember, more is not always better, but everyone's place of pressure in the body is different. Now you might stay where you are. Like I said, you might separate your heels and sit your hips in the earth and maybe even recline backwards. These things ever are too much, please do listen to your body. You don't need to go back for it to be effective. You can also do it one leg at a time with the other leg out long. Give yourself that space as well. Good. From wherever you are, slowly drag your head to rise yourself up if you're back, and forward into your hands, the hands and knees position. Cross your ankles and sit your hips behind your ankles and take your legs out long in front. We'll take a seated forward fold. You can pull the goodness out from underneath you. Reach for your feet. Inhale and roll your heart, and exhale, folding. And do this by kicking your heels forward and pulling yourself forward. And also do it by hanging forward. Passive and active are both effective in different ways. Inhale to unroll your heart, and exhale, slowly sit up. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees wide for Badakanasana, the bound angle shape. I'll turn to face you. Inhale to unroll your heart, and exhale to fold over your legs. And slowly round yourself up. You can use your hands and your outer legs to draw them towards one another. And we'll slowly round all the way down onto your back. Now, again, I'm going to offer a little bit of prop use. You can do it or not, right? All the postures exist with and without. Right as you roll onto your back, I have 2 blocks to set underneath my pelvis, but you might use one or a stack of books or a pillow. Lift your hips up into the bridge shape and put your blocks underneath. You can roll your shoulders together, bend your knees and put the soles of your feet at hips distance if this is a new shape. Press down enough to lift your hips up. You can do this without the props for sure. You're also welcome to come up into Urdhva Dhanurasana or to roll into your side belly, or even to come onto your shins to do other backward bends, etc. And otherwise, we'll be here in this inverted shape for a little while. If you're mindful, careful, you can take both feet up and do a legs of the imaginary wall business. Sometimes you find that sweet spot where your bones kind of stack and feel floaty. You're welcome also to come to an actual wall and stack up blocks in this way. Sometimes having the lift in your hips creates a more inverted stance for the body. Some people like taking their legs out long. Sometimes it can be more acute in your lower back. Just be mindful. Some people bring their knees together or apart. If you find a sustainable place, feel free. Sometimes something's going to seem sustainable and you'll stay for a few breaths and then decide to mutiny against that choice. And that is just fine. You're here for 5 or 6 more rounds of breath. As you're ready, plant your feet, lift your hips enough to slide your props out from underneath you and slowly roll down. You might drop your knees from side to side a few times, twisting out your lower back if it feels tight after that bend. And then we'll slowly do a little abdominal strengthening to counteract. So bring the small of your back down by tilting your pelvis. You might even squeeze your butt and feel how your butt tries to lift off the ground when you do that. Try to keep as much of the length of your lower back down as you can. Lift your right shin up parallel to the earth, your left shin up parallel to the earth. I'm rolling my shoulders out and down. From here, you can even just stay here and you might already feel how your abdominals have to turn on. The more your legs go away from your body, the more your lower back wants to lift and your pelvis wants to untuck. So you'll have to kind of do the work to keep that tilted. Now from here, you could keep your head down or lift your head, neck, and shoulders up. You could keep your elbows down or take them wide, but press your hands into your thighs and resist with your thighs. Push back. You might change where that plane of pressure is until you feel your low abdominals engaged. Keep trying to press the small of your back down. Keep your chin a little tucked, whether your head is up or down. We'll be here for 10 breaths. If you don't feel anything, push harder and create more resistance. After 10 breaths on an exhale, you can gather your knees into your chest and give yourself a good squeeze. From here, you might assess whether you want to do a sitting practice or a resting practice to end. Lie on your back. I'll split the difference a little bit. I'll sit and then give an offering to lie down if you want to lie down or stay in sitting. If you're coming to Shavasana, you might just take your legs out long, your arms out long. You might find you need to lay on your side or your belly instead, or to support yourself with props, which is a-okay. You might find that you want to rock yourself forward and roll yourself up, or roll over onto one side and sit up for a little bit of sitting practice. You won't be here for super long, but a little bit of time is nice. A lot of times meditation seems really cerebral, and I think it is really actually very intuitive, right? All of the stimuli that are coming at us, we have these wonderful analytical intelligent brains. They've adapted so well and so critically that they're often the loudest voice of how we take in the world around us, but they're not the only way that we integrate with the world around us. And so you might even think of meditation as a time of open listening, right? Without thinking or criticizing or attaching or creating identity or opinion about what we observe, just allowing ourselves to witness, to observationally pay attention to how things are without discerning sort of our position or our ego based on that information. And that can be quite difficult. So, if that is a practice that you already have, you do a mantra or you have something that you do to meditate, you might find your way out there, whether you're resting on your back and allowing yourself that or sitting upright. Otherwise, today I'll offer that you might allow this space of open listening to come to play. Often we listen to a point like our heart beating or a breath moving. Today you might just let yourself listen to all thoughts, ideas, all experiences and sense objects, all feelings in the body and in the intuition to come forth, and just observe them. You might think of them like a river of experiences that you're standing on the bank of. You have enough time to watch them as they emerge and as they go, maybe as they emerge and go again and again. When the time comes to change, I'll call you up and out. When the time comes to move into resting, if you're meditating, I'll let you know. Until then, pay attention to how things really are. If you're doing a sitting practice in which wish to remain in that position, do. Otherwise, if it's time to change positions or lie back and rest, do. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasti Navadi Tamastu Mavet Vashavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we, as we learn together, be protected. We, as we learn together, know ease and joy. May our work together for the liberation of all be brilliant and illuminated. May our work seek always to create liberation and collaboration with that which is universal, non-dualistic, and full of love and peace. If you're lying in rest or sitting in meditation, wish to remain, do as long as you'd like. The time has come to return. Begin by slowly deepening your breath, asking it to rise towards your awareness. And then perhaps adding some slow and subtle movement, moving in gratitude, and that is the gratitude of broad awareness of all of the given circumstances required for you to do a metaphysical awakening practice of bearing witness to your experience. You might consider the creation of the universe, of the planet, right, of the ecosystem of our species, of the lineage of your familial lines, your educational lines, your ecosocial lines. You might consider the native humans who once stewarded the land or continue to steward the land that you are on. Consider how you take up that mantle. You might consider what you have learned that's been useful and not, right? What you have as resource, which oppressions and privileges lead you to this space. And of course, take time to be grateful, to practice gratitude for yourself, for the courage to show up and practice, to pay attention to how things are. If you'd like, you can seal your practice by folding your hands in that symbol of non-dualism, the Anjali Mudra, acknowledging that things that seem dualistic and polar, like right and left, sun and moon, beginning and end, before and after you and all the things that you perceive as not you, have a meeting place on the network of everything where they become one. Thank you for your time, your energy, your effort. If you wish, you can bring your thumbs towards your forehead, folding and bowing in gratitude to your work and to the lineage of yoga, this lineage particularly from Southeast Mysore, from the southern part of the country. Thank you for your work. My name is Alyssa. If you have any questions or you need anything, it's okay to reach out to me. Otherwise, I hope this video is of use to you, and I hope that you get to take a few deep breaths and have space to consider offloading what isn't for you while continuing to hold dear that which is important with the most peace possible. I have a great faith that you can do that work. Hopefully we'll see each other again soon. Thank you.